Hi guys, back again. I don't think I got anything posted yesterday, but was busy running and just working on stuff for my shop. As you know, I'm finishing the back part, and I've been looking for a burner, and finally found one. Ended up having to run over 2 hours to go get it because I passed on a couple that were close, like an hour, hour and a half. So I didn't want to drive that far. And I have a DACA in my house, this exact same stove, and I really have liked it. I've had it for over 10 years in there. It's been great. It heats the whole house, and so I kind of wanted one of these. So I ended up having to run a couple hours to go get it, and this way, where the heat tubes will come out of the top and they'll go through the wall up there to heat this room is the one I've been working on here. So to end up heating this area out here once I get it all done. Um, so I was needing something that had a blower on it, that I could do that. And this one, I like this one because the firebox is good size, and then also the ash drawer it's kind of a shovel. It scoops it out, and it's big, so it holds a lot. Just the thermos or the spring damper on it, and then the blower. And obviously, I don't have I've got to get a box and the official blower hookups on it. But had the heat robber from the barrel stove, put that on here still because that way I can, well, for one, I'm more efficient claiming some of the heat that goes up the chimney, but that'll heat this room in the shop here, and then the bulk of the heat that this thing blows out will go out into the other room. So I suppose if I have to, I could put a T on up here. There'll be a couple of tubes coming up and going through the wall. Put a T on there, and then have a damper on it I can open to run more heat out into here. But right now it's nice in here. It's not cold out today though, so doesn't take much. We're running 300 degrees ish on there right now on the front of the firebox. And in the shop here it says it's it's a toasty 78 degrees or so in here, up there. So with my unfinished ceiling, all the stuff, you get working on a shop, and you, at least me, I shouldn't say you, but get it functional, and then you got these last few things, you run short on boards, and I'll get them done, and then yeah, there it sits. That's been 10 years or more, and it would take us probably 2 hours to do both sides like that. So, but it's been functional, and hopefully my goal, get this outside part done out there. And as you can see in the background, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, and wood, of course, is always the biggest thing. Bring in wood to process. We got to get it planed. It comes in rough cut from my sawmill, or sometimes other people bring it to me to work with. But then we got to get it all prepped, ultimately turn it into like this here, make trim. So just some 4-inch casing, but cut a back relief on it, so that way it'll be easier to install if the sheetrock's not perfectly flush with the jamb, and will help it with cupping cupping, or a little bit of stress relief in the wood. So yeah, plane everything up, and then we sticker it. We always sticker wood. If we're not using it until it's done being made, done being worked on, this trim is a sticker, but everything else is still in raw form, where we got it planed down. Even now it's been acclimated to the shop. But if you don't sticker wood when you're working with it, if you're letting it sit overnight between times, it just cups, it moves, it tends to. So we save a lot of headache by doing that. It's a little bit more of a pain, but we just have buckets of 5-gallon buckets of 3/4-inch square stickers that we have. And anytime we bring stuff in, we just throw just a couple. I mean, it doesn't take much. You're not trying to dry it, keep it straight, from weight from waving. So you just get a couple stickers between it, and let it sit there like that until you get it cut down to till the width that you're needing, if you're cutting rails and stiles, or cabinet face frames, or trim. Then once we get it to that point, then we don't worry about it. The other thing that we do is on anything that's a wide panel, when it comes to warping, is we always finish the back of it, at least a couple of coats. Just spray them on, even if you're never going to see it. That way you have even moisture movement throughout the wood. If you have one side of a tabletop, say, sealed, no finish on the bottom of it. If the humidity changes in the building that it's in, that thing is going to want to swell from the bottom, because the top's not going to be able to absorb moisture at the same rate the bottom is. And especially if it's completely unfinished, the bottom's going to just suck it up and that thing's going to bow. So we always finish the bottom of stuff, just at least a couple of quick coats on it. Oftentimes we'll do it if we're trying to get something done. We'll spray it, let it dry for 10 or 15 minutes, put a couple of stickers under it and flip it over, and you might end up with a little sticker mark on it, but you're never going to see it. So then we can just kind of keep moving on stuff, and that helps a lot. So yeah, hopefully though, once I get that done out there, we'll process the bulk of our wood out there. So that way in here we can just focus on, the building the cabinets and stuff where we have, the boxes, things that are built. They're in here. We won't have the wood in here as well in the way until we bring it in to actually cut it up and use it. So progress, I hope. We have couple machines that we use. I picked up a 20-inch Grizzly for a planer. We use that strictly for our planer. This is the one that I had. It's a Woodmaster. I get Woodmiser and Woodmaster confused sometimes, but Woodmiser is a sawmill. Woodmaster is a planer company. It's an American-made tool. I bought this thing probably almost 20 years ago. It's a 718, the 18-inch wide one. I've upgraded to a spiral head because once you try a spiral head in a planer or a joiner, you'll never go back. They're amazing. They're so quiet. You can talk while you're planing, even if it's a big wide board. And if you have to change them out, they're easy. There's no setting blades and getting the height right. On this one previous with the standard planer head I have, it was a 3-blade deal. Set it, I'd spend forever getting everything set up right, and they'd get dull, a year later, whatever, I go to change them out. One blade would be razor sharp, wasn't touching. Just thousandths of an inch matter on that. So as with the spiral head carbide cutters, it's so much easier. And just it does a lot better on tear out. Basically no tear out unless it's incredibly figured grain. But this has been a great machine. Somebody that's, my only complaint with it is the crank up and down on it right here. It's a little hard to, it doesn't crank real easy. So if you're going from say a 1-inch board to a 2-inch board and it's a 1/16 of an inch per crank, you're running, it can be a workout moving the thing up and down. And the posts right here are threaded, and they'll get sawdust and dirt built up on them, and sometimes you got to clean all the 4 posts on it to make it screw up and down easy. But that's literally my only complaint with this thing. I've had it, like I said, almost 20 years. I have not had to replace any parts on it other than the switch, the on-off switch, which that wore out on me. But other than that, the bearings, the motor, Leeson motor, it's really good. And I haven't done comparisons. Companies, I don't buy multiple ones, but this thing makes trim. It's a molding maker. It's got a gang saw that goes with it as well, that comes with it. I've only used that once because usually we just run stuff through the table saw, but this is a good all-purpose machine. A drum sander that comes with it too, that fits on the accessory shaft. And I mean, it's a quality machine. They're $2,500 or probably more than that now, new. I've seen them for sale used though. But if you were starting off with something, wanted a machine that can take 3/16 of an inch of wood off in one pass with the planer head, and you can swap out and do all this other stuff with it, it's a good tool, something I would definitely recommend. So most of the rest of my stuff is Grizzly. I like it. They've been good tools. So I have a Delta joiner now that I got because it was a bigger one. I had a 6-inch Grizzly joiner before, and it was way better than the Delta. This Delta it works. I don't feel like it's as powerful as it needs to be. It tends to want to clog on the chips. The chute must not have enough angle in it. It was a real pain in the butt to get the tables aligned right and get them leveled. The fence will go out of square if we're not watching. So I definitely like the Grizzly better on that, but I needed the longer joiner table for doing longer boards. So, and my table saw is a Delta Unisaw. I like that. And I've got 2 actually. So this isn't maybe other guys have it too. I had a friend of mine that had it. It's the first place I saw it. And best thing I've ever done with table saws is I took and bolted, this is my Delta Unisaw, and then from this point here, there's it's a jet that I picked up, and I have it bolted right to it. And I just had to drill a few holes to get my fence on the front. And literally there's a little bevel angle difference on the tables right here. The Unisaw, you can see it is more square, the Delta's more beveled, but it's perfect. I had to cut a notch in the fence right here for the miter gauge to go through, but otherwise drilled about 3 or 4 extra holes and put it together. Perfect. I mean, and now I got 2 saws, so we keep a dado blade in this one. Generally we just run 1/2-inch dados, so just crank that down, and then you got your full table for ripping your plywood or whatever else you're doing. So saves a ton of space. You got 2 table saws and the exact same space it takes to keep one. So anyway, that's a little update, a few shop tips, things that I think are good anyway, and we'll talk to you later.